Hello and welcome to this lecture. Today we are looking at the roles of internal stakeholders and also going to be looking at the roles of external stakeholders. So let's get started. So remember we say internal stakeholders are the individuals or group which are affected by directly linked to the organization. They are there to the day-to-day running of the organization. So we have our first example here which is the employees. So you know that employees are the one who contribute to day-to-day operations. They work towards the organizational goal of achieving of production or achieving its major goal of profit maximizing and play a role in the execution of business strategies because they're the one who are there on a day-to-day running of the business, which means when it comes to strategies, how the business can adapt to certain things that have changed in the market because as you know, the business world is very dynamic. So this um, business strategies that are going to be executed are left in the hands of the employees because they're there to contribute to the day-to-day operations of the business. Then their interest, as you know, is job satisfaction. They really want to know that they belong in that organization. That is job satisfaction. Are they satisfied in working in the organization because they feel like it's their home, which is very important. Whenever you have to look at also fair compensation, the idea that whenever they have any problems that they are facing, whenever they have any shortcomings, they need to be fairly compensated. Then we have also look at career growth, whereby you're looking at them being valuable assets of the organization. We're going to be investing them in their growth because we know that if you invest in their career growth, they're going to also have a positive effect on the company's growth. And also, we are looking at having a positive working environment because if you don't have a positive working environment, because the environment is linked to the business, so we can really relate to how the business is performing by just looking at its environment. That's why employees' interests are linked to the positive environment, positive work environment. Then we have to look at the also internal stakeholders, which is the managers, uh, executives. Their role responsible for strategic decision making because they're the one who are the head of the organization, which means their duty is to manage the business, which means that's why they have to make the decision makers. They're there to planning and overseeing the execution of organizational objectives. Because every organization has its own objectives, but it's the duty of the managers to make sure that the organization achieves its objectives by decision making and planning and focusing what is going to happen to the future. Because as a manager is supposed to be visionary, is supposed to be goal oriented, whereby he has the organizational objectives at heart. Then we look at the interests of the managers, uh, achieving company goals, as I have mentioned. Profitability is very important because that's how we measure if the manager is executing his duties by having a business improving its profitability from year to year. At the same time, we're looking at executive management of our resources because all companies need to be operating in an environment whereby they need to look at their resources and need to find a way in which they can effectively manage them because the resources are the ones who shape the company, who shape the organization, who shapes even the overall existence of the organization. That's why effective management of resources is very important. Then also have the shareholders or the owners of the business, the owners of the business. Their role is to make sure that they invest the financial capital in the business and own shares. As you know, shares is a unit of ownership in a business. So they are there to make sure that they seek returns on investment, influence major decisions through voting rights, whereby they might need to have certain things change in the company. They do that by voting rights, and also they can influence major decisions, but their overall objective, most of them, they are seeking returns on their investment. That's why they are always be available to influence decision making. Their interest is also profitability. They want to make sure that they get a return of their investment. Also, stock value appreciation by the assets that they have bought, the shares that they have bought will appreciate in value, and effective corporate governance, whereby they are working together. The organization and the government are in good books. That corporate governance, whereby we are not having any issues. They are paying their taxes in time, and they're executing their social responsibility as a business. That's all in line with having an effective corporate duty. That's effective corporate governance. Then we have the roles of external stakeholders. As we say, these are the people who can be affected by the way the business operations are being done, but they are not the business management. Okay, they are not its management. That's what we are looking at our previous video. So we're looking at the customer. The customer is, right now we have what to call even the owner of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, mentioned the idea of customer obsession, whereby more focus on the customer. It's very important because you need to look at the customer playing a role whereby they purchase goods and services from us in providing revenue for the organization. So the way he was looking at the customer being someone who's very valuable at the time that he was also foregoing profit so that he can make sure that he provide goods and service to the customer. He introduced what you call Amazon Prime services, whereby goods were being delivered in less than 3 days time, and it came to a point where he was delivering goods in less than a day time, which is all was in the interest of the customer. So let's look what the customer is interested in. He's interested in quality products, and also interested in fair pricing. He's interested in customer service. He's also interested in ethical business practice, whereby they want to have that trust in that business. That's how you end up having customer loyalty, whereby you'll be in ethical business practices that you're supposed to practice. And the most important is customer service, the customer obsession that I was explaining, the idea that the customer is the king. Always think about your customer. How are they going to love this product? Which means you always wish to provide quality products. Then you have to look at the suppliers. These are very important for the organization because they provide the necessary input for the organizational operations. So we really need them to make sure that we have that much input, that much raw materials that we need for organizational operations, contributing to the production or delivery of goods and services. It can be to transport services. It's very important to make sure that the delivery of goods and services reach the end of the final consumer once we have a reliable supply chain. So the interest of the supplier is always timely payment. They need to have just-in-time payments, which allows them to have long-term partnership with you, whereby they can trust you. And also they need to have fair business practice, whereby they're doing something that is not illegal. They're not transporting illegal goods. We need to look at a fair business practice, whereby they are being ethical. When you look at the business ethics, which are very important in the business operation. Then have government also playing a role as the external stakeholder, whereby it's there to regulate, which means they use the law and oversee business operations, making sure that the business are not exploiting consumers, also ensuring compliance with laws and regulations. They are there to make sure that they guide the business, to make sure that they are ethical, guide the business to make sure that they obey the law, the consumer laws, whereby they are not supposed to exploit consumers. These are all in line with the issue of regulation. They pay their taxes on time. Also, let's look at the interest of the government. Of course, they are there to make sure that they have tax revenue, both as another source of government revenue through the value-added tax, corporate tax, the different various tax that they use to make sure that they earn revenue from the businesses. And also, you have to look at government being there to provide employment generation. Then, because you know that the government also really very much corporate duty to make sure that they provide employment and the adherence to legal and environmental standards, that they want you as a business to make sure that you adhere to the legal and environmental standards, to make sure that we are not depleting the finite resources that we have, that we continue to operate our business into the future and continue to be a beacon for the success of the business, for the success of the country. Because if the business operations are in line, then the government itself will succeed in continuing to create a favorable business environment. When you have the communities, because the communities are the one which are affected by the organizational presence, because the organization come and establish operation in a community. So we need to look at the community, also being able to look at them is very important, because the business is the one which comes and operates in certain communities, in certain towns, whereby there are various communities there. So we have to look at their operations and their social responsibility initiative. The idea of how are they going to be able to give back, whereby we talk about plowing back of those profits that they're going to be making to give the vulnerable people in the community. So which means we are looking at the business, looking at the community. Whenever they make the profit, they're supposed to reflect back in the community and see what else can we improve with the community that is surrounding us. Whereby you're looking at the company for the business being a good citizen. So when you look at the interest of the community, they want to have job opportunities because they want to have to create employment so they can have an income to sustain their families. Then you look at community development, which means the business is supposed to look at what they can develop in the community. And also you have to look at environmental sustainability. Sustainability is very important because it's become a key word that tells us that we are supposed to use resources effectively in a way that we don't prevent even the future generation from also having access to the resources and also having ethical practices that allows the businesses to flourish and also allowing other businesses, other future prospects to have access to that availability of resources. Then we have investors or financial institutions. These are there to provide capital or support the organization in terms of loans and interests. They also have to look at the return on investment. Whenever they give you the capital or the financial support that you need as an organization, they'll be expecting the return on their investment. And we also have to look at financial stability, operating in a macroeconomic environment that is favorable, that is allowed to have favorable exchange rates, that is all linked with financial stability, in adherence to financial agreements. Wherever we agree financially, we're supposed to continue to abide by those contracts. Um, in summary, we have to look at understanding and managing the interests of the stakeholders is crucial for the overall success and sustainability of the organization. So we need you to know that the interests of both stakeholders are crucial because you can't favor the interests of internal stakeholders by not favoring those of external stakeholders. So we're looking at both sides as crucial to your success of the business because both sides are very important because they are linked to the organization. They are inseparable from the business of the company. So we need to have effective communication. As you know, effective communication is very crucial because it's non-biased, whereby looking at a median median that is very favorable in terms of whenever you are communicating because communication is the lifeblood of an organization and the relationship building with both internal and external stakeholders contribute to the achievement of organizational objectives while considering the broader impact on community and society. Because we need to look at both these two things, internal and external, contributing to the overall success of the business, whereby we're looking at them focusing on their objectives and also looking at the broader aspect that they are also linked to the community and the society around them. We need them to give back, having a social responsibility to the community that is surrounding them. That's how a business will achieve its organizational objectives by utilizing both stakeholders in its success journey. With this video, I thank you.